everyone, welcome to Love and Life's Journey. I'm Chantel. If you're new to my channel, thanks so much for stopping by. I hope that you'll consider sticking around a while and subscribing. Today's video is the last in my series for this modular mail center that I've been working on. And today I am going to show you how to do this prayer board. It can also just be used as a display board for pictures or notes or anything you would like to hang on it. Something special I did with this is when the prayer requests are answered, then you can take those answered prayers off of the board, and I have a little slit in the top, and you just slide them right in there, and they are stored inside. And then, like at Thanksgiving or the end of the year, Christmas maybe, you can take this down and take the back off and pull out all of those answered prayers, and you can go over them and see all of those prayers that were answered over the year, and just will help remind you and your family about the goodness of God. So I just really like how this turned out. So let's jump in and I'll show you how I made it. If you're making the prayer board, then you need 2 of the 8x10 picture frames. You'll only need 1 if you're making just a display board. You'll need the same spray paint that you used for the other components of your mail center, and the same dark paint that you used to do the antiquing, as well as the clear coat spray. You will need some jute twine, and then you'll also want to pick up 1 set of the tumbling tower blocks from Dollar Tree, as well as a package of these little miniature clothespins. The different types of glue I will be using are a wood glue. You could also use just a tacky glue, and E6000, as well as my hot glue gun, and I'm using the Gorilla Glue sticks. First, I'm going to take my wood glue and I'm just going to glue 4 of the tumbling tower blocks together so that they look like this. Then I'm going to take apart 1 of my picture frames. I'm just going to remove the back and take out the cardboard and the mat that is inside, and I'll be setting all of those things aside, and all I'll be using is the frame and the glass. Then I'm just going to press down the little tab so that it holds the glass in. And it doesn't matter if they show from the front because you won't be seeing that anyway. Then I'm going to take my glue gun and I'm just going to add a little bit of hot glue in the corners, on the edges, just to secure that glass a little bit more. Then I'm going to take my E6000 and I'm going to apply this. This is on the back side of the frame, and I'm just going to put it along the 2 sides and the bottom. I don't want to put any glue along the top of the frame because that's where we're going to leave it open so we can slide those papers in the top of the frame. Again, I'm not putting any glue along the top of the frame, but I am going to take my hot glue gun and add just a little bit of glue around the sides and the bottom so that will secure it while the glue is drying. So the battery in my camera died right when I was gluing the frame together, and so I wanted to show you, I'm kind of recreating it here, but how I put the 2 frames together. Here I am just folding a couple pieces of paper in thirds, just little pieces of paper, and I'm going to glue them on the top corners of the frame, and these will act as spacers to make it a little bit easier to slide the papers in between the frame. Then I'm going to take my other frame and I'm just going to turn it upside down and glue it to the other frame that we just put the glue on, just the sides and the bottom. And then that will leave the top open, and with those spacers it's enough to slide your papers in between them so that they go into the frame.
Once the glue is completely dry, then I'm just going to give my frame a couple of light coats of paint. It's better to do several light coats than one thick coat. It just comes out smoother. I'm also going to paint the 4 tumbling tower blocks that I glued together. Then I'm going to take my dark paint and a dry brush, and I'm going to dry brush the dark paint on really lightly. So I'm just putting some on my brush and then taking the excess off on a paper towel, and then I'm just brushing it along the edges of the frame, and the paint will stick to kind of the edges and corners. And then I'll also be brushing it across the center of the frame, and this just gives it an antiqued or a worn finish. If you get some places that are too dark or you don't like the way they look, you can just take some sandpaper and just lightly sand it, and it will lighten up the color or remove it. Just don't do it too much and remove your white paint. I'm using the same dry brush technique on the little blocks that we glued together that's going to be my sign. And you can do this as little or as much as you like. It's really just your personal preference. Then I just got on Word on my computer and I printed out several different fonts of the word pray because that's what I want my little sign to say. And I wasn't sure which one I liked, so I thought I'd just try several different ones. So I'm just cutting them out and I'm going to lay them on the sign and just decide which one I like the best. And once I decided which one I wanted to use, then I'm just going to take a pencil and color on the back side of the paper. And this is a trick to do if you don't have any carbon paper or transfer paper. This works just as well. Once you have the back colored, then just place it on your block, and then I'm just going to trace over the letters, and then that pencil lead will transfer to the wood block so that I have a pattern to follow to paint my letters on the block. Then I'm just going to use some apple barrel paint from Walmart, like 50 cents. You can also use just like a paint marker to do this, but I have the black paint, so I'm just going to go ahead and paint my word on my block. While my paint is drying, I'm going to take my twine and I'm going to make a jute flower. I do this by wrapping the twine around my fingers about 4 times, and then I'll just take a little piece of twine and tie it around the center just to make a little bundle. And then I'll repeat this 2 more times for a total of 3 little bundles. And I got this flower technique from Kelly Barlow on her channel, Kelly Barlow Creations, and I'll link her channel below and you can check it out. Then I'm going to take and glue my bundles one on top of another and just offset them a little bit, and then glue the third one offset also so that it just makes a cute little flower. Then I'm going to take some more twine and I'm going to start in the upper left hand corner, and I'm just going to glue the end down in the corner, and then I will place the jute flower on top of this end. Then I'm going to stretch my twine over to the other side about the third of the way down and just put a little bit of glue kind of on the inside edge of the frame and secure that twine. Then I'm just going to zigzag it across so that it goes about 2/3 of the way down on the other side, and then down to the bottom right corner. I'm just going to glue my little pray sign on the bottom corner with my hot glue gun. Then I'm going to take about 12 of these little itty bitty clothespins that I got at Dollar Tree in a package of 50, and I'm going to just put a little dab of hot glue on there and glue them to the twine. Now you'll want to lift the twine up off of the frame when you're gluing these so that they don't just stick to the frame, because I wanted them to look more like it was hanging and not that it was just glued to the frame. So here it is all finished, and I just love how it looks. If you want to make it just a display board and you don't need to make it so you can slide things in between two frames, then you don't need to use two frames. You can just use one picture frame and spray paint it and then put the twine and clothespins on it, and you can make a little sign that says anything that you want to for it.
This video and this series on how to make this modular mail center. This is the last video of this series, but I had a lot of fun making this. It's very functional and you can switch them out. You can use as many or as few of these as you want as to what fits your family's needs. And by using the command picture hanging strips, they're like the Velcro strips on the back of these, you can rearrange them and mix and match. The only one that I did not do that with is the prayer board, and I actually just hung that up on the hanger that it came with. I started to do it with the command strips, but I quickly realized that I was not able to push it on to the wall hard enough to get it to stick, so that I felt like it was secure, and I didn't want to push because this is actually still the glass of the picture frame, so you don't want to push on that. And so I just used this hanger on the picture frame and it worked just fine. So again, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you have not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button and also the bell when it pops up so that you'll be notified when I upload new videos to YouTube. And I would love to hear if you have made any of these pieces of the modular mail center, which ones and how you're liking it. If you'd like to follow me on social media, you can find those links in the description box below. And so thank you so much again for watching, and we'll see you next time.